Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
Welcome to J.A.M. History and Life.
The advent calendars?
They're right there. We'll do them at the end.
Oh, we're smart.
Yes, I got them this time. We're doing them at the end.
We have our Dutch Bros.
Yes, we do.
We also got
Because I thought I clamped my shirt. Dirt.
we also have got the Dutch Bros chocolate chip muffin.
She started hers.
I started mine. It's good. Try yours.
I will try mine. Willow.
She didn't realize how big their muffin tops were.
Yeah.
We got it warmed up too. It is nice warmed up.
Yeah, because they also warm up the food now too if you ask
Mhm.
for it. It's not warm no more. It took too long. We have issues today. Today, just issues.
It's okay. I tried to say clock, but I forgot the L.
Cough. Hi, I got some cough.
Mhm. So
Look at
okay.
this. It's big. Big old giant chocolate chip muffin top.
It is. How do you like it?
Very good.
Good. So we're gonna talk about Nutty Putty Cave. Nutty Putty Cave is one of those things. It's a spelunking thing. So I don't.
Oh,
I
you're
could
spelunking.
never. I could never.
You'll probably be seeing this tomorrow.
Yes, we are pre-recording.
Today is the 7th. And you can understand my food in mouthful.
Today is the 7th.
We're pre-recording because we have things happening on the 8th. So we will tell you about that next Monday.
No, we'll tell you about it right now. They're gonna see it on the 8th.
Well, they're gonna see it on the 8th. Yeah, I mean,
Me and Justin are getting married on the 8th. So the
We're
reason
married
we're
tomorrow.
pre-recording because I'm getting married and we're doing a little celebration.
yeah. So, and my family already knows because I just told them
We
today.
should have invited Angela and Thomas.
We can.
Do you see them tomorrow? Do you have their number?
I'm friends with Thomas on Facebook.
Oh yeah, you can ask them.
And I asked him, I said, hey, you and Angela want to come tomorrow? But when they see this tomorrow, it'll be yesterday. Willow. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, we're going to do 2 advent calendars. I apologize for cutting her off. I'll show them to you. These are the Kincaid. Thomas Kincaid Studio. It's like 24 little puzzles. And then we got Disney Munchlings. So I forgot to bring them out last week because we were supposed to start opening them.
So we'll open 6 today.
Uh-huh. And then, well, no, we don't have to open 6 today.
Yeah, we do. Because then we have 1 episode. So, and that will make it.
Oh, crap, that's right.
9.
I'm trying to think.
Are they 24 days?
This one's 24.
Uh-huh.
This one's 24, so we have to open 6.
That's 24 too.
Oh, shit.
Now we gotta redo math. Give us. That's 24.
Yeah. Oh, crap.
What's 24 minus? Because we only have 3 days now.
John's playing Call of Duty if you hear him in the background.
So we have to do 8 each day. So we have to do 8 today, 8 tomorrow, next Monday, and then 8 the Monday after that.
Okay. Yeah,
and we'll be good.
good.
It's very chocolatey.
Okay. So we'll do 8 today from each.
Mm-hmm.
The 24-day advent calendar puzzle. It's little bitty puzzles. But it's all Thomas Kincaid puzzles. Which, if you watch this channel long enough, you know that's the only puzzles I do. Because after the guy passed, he did some beautiful, amazing puzzles. And so now that's all I collect is the Disney puzzles. I've already put 2 together. I did one that took me 2 years to do because it was a 2,000-piece puzzle, and it was Beauty and the Beast when they were on the balcony of his castle. And then I did one for my best friend, but her kids tore it up. Boys will be boys.
Yeah.
So on to spelunking.
Spelunking or cave diving. You may have heard of Nutty Putty Cave before, and I will explain how we got the name Nutty Putty Cave because I know that's a
I could ask my best friend, that lives in Utah, if he's heard of it, because he may have heard of it.
We are going to be talking about some incidents. In most incidents, people survive. We will also be talking about the last incident that occurred in this cave that sadly the gentleman did not survive. So,
Hello.
it was because of the incident that happened, it was so awful they closed the cave. And by close the cave, I mean they cemented the cave opening shut.
Wow.
Because it was such a freak accident.
I was gonna say, apparently for good reason. If people are that dumb to.
We'll get into some of the incidents, and I also will pull up some images for you guys to show you what they mean, because there are some caves in this that they call the aorta canal.
Oh, wow.
Because it's so small.
Oh, wow.
They even have something called the birth canal as well, because it's so small. And it is such a tight squeeze. Shut up. I know I messed up on that. It is such a tight squeeze that it's like you're being birthed again by the earth. And that has to do with also,
if they only knew how this is going to go real deep in a minute. Pun intended. Real deep.
But those are known.
Stretch.
So it was a freak accident in this cave. The last incident was such a freak accident.
Yeah.
But this freak accident was not the first time it happened. So there's been numerous times this freak accident occurred.
Okay.
So the cave was actually found in 1960 in Utah County. Mm-hmm. It was called Nutty Putty Cave, and I will tell you why. The cave became a popular destination for amateur and professional cavers, as they call themselves. We will notice that it is probably more of a professional cave, not an amateur cave, because there are multiple instances where the amateurs needed to be rescued.
Okay.
It actually became a bucket list cave for cavers to go to, like it became like my number one goal as a caver is to go to Nutty Putty Cave. Like that's how
popular it was.
And like when they closed off the cave, people were upset because they would never be able to go ahead and do that again. They would never be able to go and fulfill that dream of going to Nutty Putty Cave. Most people understood why. Because
but when you have those die-hard spelunkers, cave divers, whatever, they don't care.
So it was popular even in the 80s, and it became notorious for a number of cavers getting trapped and needing to be rescued from particularly narrow and twisty parts of the cave, but also poorly mapped passages. Because the caves were so small, and because let me see if I can actually pull up the image so I can show you the map of the cave. I don't know if you can tell in this right here.
That does not mean you go down there for that. Well, do not lick
I don't think you can tell, but that is a map of the cave. I don't know if you can tell, but it branches off into just open spaces. So see how like this is the aorta crawl, where it just branches into nothingness.
Right.
Multiple times, it just goes nowhere. The cave has no official end. It is completely enclosed.
Well, that kind of reminds me of, it's like an anthill.
Yes.
Where, you know how when they build their colony. Sorry for talking with my mouth full of food. The colony itself of just how they did it, because when they pour, what is it, mercury or hot metal down in an anthill, it kills all the ants, and it might be an anthill that's been evacuated or abandoned by ants, but that's what that kind of reminds me of, is different compartments, and it spreads out.
So when Salt Lake City resident Dale Green came across this cave with his friends, he did not know he had stumbled across one of the most notorious cave systems. So this is when he first found it in the 60s. Green was a local rancher, and he noticed on his land there were irregularities on the earth, like it was weirdly shaped when he was looking at it.
Sorry, I'm getting the crumbs.
But he noticed that warm vapors were coming out of the ground on his property. And he was an amateur caver. And he knew that that was a sign that there was a cave underneath his property. So he was excited to explore a cave that no one had been in before.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2009, Green told reporters that everybody that goes in that cave comes out covered in clay. When he and his friends went in there, there was no sign that anyone had explored the caves before. Um,
Where were you getting
and
to?
then that's kind of where they got the Nutty Putty Cave because you're covered in the clay.
The clay.
And I'll explain why they called it Nutty Putty specifically later on. So in the later 20th century, Western Utah was popular in the amateur and professional spelunker world, or speleologists as they call themselves.
Okay.
A speleologist are people who study caves and who go into caves. Western Utah was popular amongst this group because there's a lot of cave systems there, but also they were going and exploring mines as well, and there's a lot of abandoned mine systems.
Okay.
Um, so like many caves in the West, Nutty Putty Cave is a solution
Excuse me.
caves.
Oh.
And that means it is a cave that is created when weakly acidic rainwater seeps through the soil and percolates through fractures in the bedrock and dissolves the rock.
Mm.
So that's how it's made. In the caves of Nutty Putty Cave, the limestone was eroded from the bottom up,
Oh, wow.
slowly eaten away by boiling water, forcing upwards into the earth.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
different.
yeah, it's interesting. The meaning it was a hypogenic cave. It was it there's a whole different like terminologies for this.
Yeah.
So while the clay within the cave walls gets heated, it changes from hard rock to an elasticy substance or something very similar to silly putty.
Oh, okay.
Hence the name Nutty
Nutty
Putty
Putty Cave.
Cave. Hence why I always said you came out in clay because it's not rock you're climbing
Touching.
against or you're it's wet, it's elasticy, it's don't no.
You do. Just remembering what you said in the beginning, I'm like, that's so gross.
Yeah. So when Green and his friends first emerged from the cave, they began calling the cave Silly Putty Cave, because of the substance seeping from the walls. But they talked about it a little and started to call it Nutty Putty Cave because the name sounded better.
Yeah, I would see why it would sound better.
So word about the cave started to spread around the community of cavers. Green and his friends first explored it, and they actually were not impressed by this cave. Green said it did not have anything pretty in it. There were also not a lot of places to stand up. So pretty much you're crawling on your stomach a majority of the
Well, I
caving.
mean, hello, dude.
Well, it's kind of like Colossal Cave, where you can stand up and walk around,
Yeah.
even with like if you when they first went in.
They just don't have guardrails.
Well, no, like if they were like when they first founded it and they first walked in, they could still stand up.
Yeah.
This they were crawling on their stomach because it was so
Army crawling.
yeah. Um, but despite that, it actually got really popular with locals and cavers, and Green later called it a cave because the kids from BYU would take their dates out there. So,
Okay.
so the opening of the cave was located just outside of Salt Lake City on the western side of Utah Lake, and the entrance sits on Blowhole Hill in Utah County.
What is okay? Continue.
You enter a 6 foot
Sorry.
wide opening, and you have to climb down a 15-foot drop that opens into a chamber that branches to the right and to the left. And that together, and when those two together, make up about 1,400 feet of tunnels at a depth as low as 145 feet.
And I'll explain why I'm laughing because yeah, I'll explain later when we're done.
Now,
Because all I'm picturing in my head right now is in the fact that at the beginning she said that they were talking about it being the aorta, like
aorta
a
crawl.
valve, but then she mentioned birth canal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, could have left out the birth canal because now my mind is really
We're actually going to talk about the birth canal a lot.
sitting here and sticky stuff that you're touching, and that's just not helping any.
Yeah.
And then when she said blow hole, that makes it worse.
No.
And then saying
And
going up in the cave and going left and right, and all I'm picturing is birth canal, fallopian tube 1, fallopian tube 2.
well, no, it's like a. Let me see if I can find the photo. Because I found somebody who was there at the last incident.
And why is it when we do things like this, I take it to the extreme?
This is the entrance to the cave. It is literally just a hole in the ground that you go down 15 feet.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, it is. You are attached to a rope and you rope down 15 feet to get into this cave.
Is it rappel? You rappel down.
You rappel down.
That's not happening.
Yeah,
Looks like
it's
butthole
a
in the
cave.
ground.
So now,
excuse you.
if you were to go right, that is what they call the big slide. It's a fairly large chamber that leads down to a much tighter section of the cave, known as the birth canal, which leads to an even tighter sections that are referred to as the aorta crawl and the vein alley. They were named this because of how much they resemble the circulatory system. Now, if you go left, there's a lot of easier paths to take. It's a series of wider and easier to explore sections of the cave,
That's
referred to as the maze, the big room, and the crack. You can tell men named this.
Well, you got the blowhole, and it has a crack. Oh my god.
But either way you go, the paths lead to a dead end. And the only way in and out of this cave system is through Blowhole Hill. Now,
Perfect t-shirt idea right there. Perfect. Oh my god. Blowhole Hill. That's good.
but either way you so now according to Brandon Colas, who was a speleologist that surveyed Nutty Putty in 2003, the cave system gained popularity in the later decades of the 20th century because it was easy to access and the fact it offered a challenge once you got in there, and that is what more experienced divers really wanted. Koalas, so the majority is not something you're going to want to get stuck in, but there are some spots, some nooks and crannies where people might try and find challenging to like challenge themselves to try to squeeze through,
Which
but
that's
it ends up
stupid.
bad. Yeah.
That's dumb. If you can't fit, don't try.
Because well, the thing is, this is what happens. People will literally like, because there's a way you can get through like the aorta crawl. Like people were able to do it,
You know how
and they
bad
were
this
taught.
live would have been right now?
I know.
Angela and Thomas on here.
Where you literally you press your chest and you suck your stomach and you press your shoulders like this, you can crawl through the aorta crawl, but you have to keep yourself like this. The issue is once you panic, you expand everything and then you get stuck.
Dumbasses.
So
why would you put yourself through this? And then if you ever get out, well, guess what you got now? I can't do it. I'm claustrophobic.
Oh no, you'll find that there are people who
and I'm not making fun of people that are claustrophobic because I'm claustrophobic. I don't like being in. Okay, for instance, I know it might be different, but to me, we were shopping for the little thing for them tomorrow after they get married, and there were too many people in one aisle. And I'm standing behind John singing, I'm about to have an anxiety attack. It's going to happen in a few minutes. There's too many people in this aisle. Gotta go. I literally just darted out of the aisle.
You can ask her. I was going like this.
I can't do it because the aisle was so compact. Right. It's not a small aisle. It's just compacted. So I'm not making fun of people that probably after that happening, if that's happened to them and they panic, like, oh my God, I can't get out.
No, you're gonna actually find
now it's like a new phobia for you because now you're claustrophobic.
There are people who got caught and they were stuck that continued to go caving, and they went. That was my mistake. I went too far, or I did something wrong. But I'm not going to make that same mistake again.
Like you learn from it, which is good. But I'd be like, yeah, I'm done. Just like me getting on the Tower of Terror. Did it once, I'm done.
Now, the early 2000 officials at the School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration, who owns and manages the cave and the surrounding area, began to get nervous about the number of people that were traveling to specifically go into Nutty Putty Cave. Thousands of people were traveling to Utah to go to this cave specifically.
I'm wondering, and you'll probably answer my question somewhere in there. Yes, it's blocked off. You can't get to it. You can't go in it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if people still go there just to see if it actually exists.
Oh,
Like just to go up and check it
I
out.
do believe they do.
Not to try again. You can't get in it.
Yeah, they cemented
it shut. But just to go be like, oh hey, like do they have a placard? You know,
They do have a placard, and I will show you. It's a placard of a memoriam of the man who died in the cave.
okay, that was my next
It's
question too.
and I will explain why that placard also exists.
And I kind of jump ahead
later.
I always jump ahead because my questions are in my head, and I always ask her, and then we're not even there yet.
Yeah.
So she kind of answers it for us.
So there were some in that cave that were going in that had very little experience, and it was too challenging for them. They were going in, they're like early, they're like, me and you never spelunked before. Somebody said, oh, Nutty Putty Cave is like my dream. Yeah, so it's mine. And then they go in it having no experience.
I ain't doing it until I get experience. I still wouldn't do it even if I had it.
In response, the trust decided to turn over the management of the cave to the Timpangos Grotto, a local chapter of the National Speleologist Society.
What?
The group organized expeditions, but they organized them with professionals leading groups. By handing off the management to the grotto, the land trust was hoping to avoid any accidents involving cavers who were not experienced enough to traverse Nutty Putty Cave without a guide. And this is another instance where it gets rough. So remember how I said you go left, you go right? When you're rappelling down, sometimes you forget which way is left and which way is right.
Well, because you're spinning,
you don't know which.
What I said was like you're spinning. You could possibly.
You don't know which is which, right?
There's chocolate on it.
You don't know which is which.
No.
So you could go down and you're like, okay, I want to go the easy way. So you go left.
And you accidentally went right.
And you accidentally go right, and then you end up in a place you don't want to end up. That was one of their biggest concerns. These people coming into the cave who had no experience, who were like, okay, I'm going to go in the easy one, and then they end up being in the difficult one. They get themselves stuck. They have to be rescued. Because to be rescued in these caving incidents and in spelunking incidents, it is a process.
Oh, I bet.
So a grotto volunteer named John said in 2006, we were hoping by limiting access to those with proper preparations and the appropriate skills, we could make sure that only the most prepared people were going into the cave.
So did they have to like show a paper or something like that they were experienced and got the training
online
to show that they
they were good. But the issue is there was still a rising number of incidents happening in the cave every year. Also, there's nothing over that entrance to the cave.
No.
So people could just walk into it. They could just rappel down, and there's nothing stopping them from doing it. It is literally just a giant hole in the ground. Like, my number one thought was, why didn't they put a building over it?
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Why didn't they put some sort of like colossal cave has that whole entire entrance that like blocks people from coming in?
Why not try to build stairs going down into it?
Something like it. That yes, exactly. So there was still a rising number of incidents happening in this cave. A source had to admit, even with everything that had been put in place to guide people into proper preparations, going into the cave was still dangerous. So in the case of John Edward Jones, which I'm going to talk about here soon, in 2009, it was a national story, but it was not the first case where there was an emergency rescue needed in the cave. In the late 1990s and the early 2000s, a number of incidents would cause Utah to reconsider the state's approach to caving and how they were going to keep people safe when they were caving. So on July 27th, 1999, Chris Morrow and Chris Hay, both 17, spent all evening camped along the edges of Utah Lake And the next morning, they woke up around 9 a.m. and they made their way to Nutty Putty Cave. Now, according to the spokesman for the Utah County Sheriff Department, both boys were well prepared. They had done these things before, not Nutty Putty Cave specifically, but they had caved before, and they knew what they were doing and what they were getting themselves into. Now that made it now they made it through the initial drop, and the big slide was no problem. Then they reached the birth canal. And around 10:30 a.m., according to the sheriff's spokesman, they were too big for the area they tried to get through. The boys found themselves stuck in the same opening about 120 feet underground.
Oh, jeez.
The spokesman said the birth canal is a narrow part of the cave that leads to all kinds of interesting areas. The area was tight, like people have to suck in their stomachs and chest to go through, and if you don't do it right, you get stuck. So the rescue workers responded to a call for help in the morning, and they spent nearly 12 hours wiggling both boys forward and chopping small pieces of limestone to pull them through.
Yeah, because if you do too much, it could cave.
Yeah. Now around 10:30 p.m., rescue workers had freed Chris Hay and Chris Mara, and they were pulled out a few hours later. They survived, and physically they only suffered minor injuries and some abrasions, but mentally there were, of course, scars.
Oh, yeah.
I will say workers did start cracking jokes after saving the boys. And one of them was, "It's kind of our motto. We laugh at the dark things and we help." So it's kind of like you use humor to cope. They suggested tying a rope around their ankles and to pull them with a four-wheeler, and they could perform a cesarean section on the birth canal.
That's hilarious. I like that one.
Now, a few years later, in 2004, there was a situation that did not cause rescue workers to crack jokes. 16-year-old Brock Clark did live, but unlike the other ones, this one was a lot more treacherous. Brock Clark, who had been spelunking with his friends in Nutty Putty Cave before, got stuck in an upside down position in roughly the same part of the cave as the Chris's had. It was a Friday night when he and his friends entered the cave, and it was late in August. They were planning on spending the afternoon in the cave and then return home a few hours later. And when they reached the entrance to the birth canal, Brock entered headfirst into the opening and was trying to lead his friends into the next chamber because the birth canal does lead into a cool part of the cave. It was dark in that part of the cave, and because of that, Clark went off course and ended up finding himself wedged into a small crevice at a downward angle. It was not the birth canal, and he realized he made a mistake, and in a panic tried to twist and wiggle his way out, but that wedged him in tighter.
That's not smart.
His left leg ended up getting pinned behind him.
I mean, if you think about it, kind of what babies do in the womb.
Yeah. Now, when they realized that Brock was
sucks.
unable to get out of his position, one of his friends stood and watched him, and the others went to go get help.
Really? Your friend is stuck, and you're gonna be like, "What are you done?"
No, they were watching to make sure nothing happened, that he was still breathing.
I'm all like,
They weren't watching him like, "What are you doing?" No, one
"No,
of
he
them was
did."
watching him like, keep him talking. That's
keep him
one of
awake. Well, he's upside down.
exactly. Keep him awake. Keep him talking.
I'm sitting there thinking, wow, what friends you are to watch your friends suffer.
So they got the sheriffs and they went to the sheriff's department, and it was around 6 p.m. And the rescue workers followed them back to the cave, and it took a while to get to the area that he was stuck in. And hours later, they were still trying to get Brock out. And a representative from the office told reporters Brock did as much shimmying as he could, but it was taking hours and hours of gentle and slow pushing and pulling to try to coax him to do everything they could to get him out before he was finally free in the early morning hours. Now this
sounds like childbirth. I'm sorry.
That's one
like...
of the reasons. Again, it's called the birth canal.
Everything she's describing.
Now it was a situation that was very similar to the
Childbirth.
Chris's situation, where they would push him forward, chip away at the limestone, pull, push him forward, chip away at the limestone, pull. The only difference was the Chris's were laying flat, and he was laying at an angle.
That makes it.
What made it worse was because blood rushed to his head, and his leg was pinned. Circulation had been disrupted on the entire left side of his body.
Oh,
And when he
no.
was taken from the cave after 12 plus hours, because that's how long he was stuck in that
Right.
position, was 12 hours,
Right.
he couldn't walk or stand without help. He was also described as very fatigued and weak and ended up needing to be hospitalized and stabilized. Brock Clark ended up surviving, and it was after this cave it earned the nickname the Scout Eater. So Nutty Putty Cave became Nutty Putty Cave, also referred to as the Scout
AKA
Eater.
Scout Eater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it was a few weeks after the Clarks incident that 23-year-old David Crowther, a Brigham Young University student, became stuck between two large rocks in Nutty Putty Cave one evening. Once his friends realized they couldn't move him, they called for help. The rescue workers were able to use an air chipper to free him after 7 hours of being stuck.
Jeez.
So I will give you a little
Surprised
bit
anybody
of
didn't crack a joke about that, being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Sorry. It was right there.
So I'm going to give you actually a little bit of statistics
Is
about
there
spelunking,
cracking
and
jokes?
this is what spelunking kind of, this is what spelunkers use to say, look, it's probably not going to happen to me.
Mhm.
And they say that an average of 2 million people visit caves annually across the U.S., and most of them are considered low risk expeditions or guided cave tours.
Mhm.
Of these, roughly 50 per year require emergency help from being trapped. And of those 50, 83% of them are men.
Is this why we live longer?
I also wonder if it's also because of their bone structure. Women learn how to like cave in really easy,
Well,
but men don't know how to like.
Men are men, yeah. Snap
Okay.
me into a Slim Jim. Oh.
let's go spelunking, John.
Oh.
You want to go into the birth canal?
I'll go into the birth canal. I'll pull that baby out and I'll say, "Your baby."
If you were to hear half of this, it literally sounds like they were giving birth underground.
Yeah, the cave is like.
Ooh,
No.
caveman style.
So basically, this cave is already considered an
Oh
outlier.
shit, it was.
This cave is already an outlier with how many incidents are happening in it. And again, you have a cave called the Aorta Crawl, Vein Alley.
That sounds like
the
a song.
Birth Canal.
Aorta Crawl sounds like a freaking
know.
country song, but it's a
So-
doctor song.
It was already an outlier with people getting stuck in such close numbers. Again, 2 million people go to caves per year,
Right.
whether guided tour, expedition, spelunkers. Only 50 of them need to be professionally rescued a year.
Only?
Yeah, 2
Only
million,
50.
50 out of 2 million, that's not a lot.
And out of that 50 that got rescued, I guarantee you they're going to go back and do the same damn stupid shit again.
Mhm.
And they're going to be crawling along going, "Oh, I think you go this way," and get stuck like that one guy, head down, couldn't get back out because he was swollen up and died down in the cave. What a way to go. Get eaten by insects.
You're
and die
spoiling
from
it for
starvation.
Michelle.
Thank you.
Sorry, Michelle.
And you spoiled it for everybody else. That's okay. He's not good at keeping secrets either.
That is, that's
I
rough.
heard that, young lady.
You can't keep secrets. Just saying. Or surprises. It's not secrets, it's surprises.
I'm trying to think. That's like 0.004%.
Yeah.
It's not a high number. So,
Excuse
yeah,
me.
of those
Sorry.
50, 83% of them are men who get stuck in the caves and need professional rescuing. Yeah.
Did you guys not learn anything?
So the cave is already an outlier. So in Utah, it wasn't just the need for emergency resources that was causing alarm bells to go off, but the condition of the cave itself. John Jasper in 2005 said it smells like a gym when you first go in. He also noted the cave wasn't just challenging, but the behavior of the visitors was creating an unsanitary environment that posed a problem.
They're doing leaving garbage and crap and clothes or what?
He said if there was a death, the state officials would be on the ball and close it immediately. Now, this was not an exaggeration. During the rescues of Brock Clark and David Crowther in the fall, it led to a number of complaints to state officials, and people started to demand that Nutty Putty be closed off permanently. The school and institution, when I say it was trashed, yeah, people were leaving trash. People were leaving trash. People were going to the bathroom in the cave. They were going to the corner and going to the bathrooms in the cave.
Ew.
Yeah, it was
You
unsanitary.
need PPE before you get in there.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's gross. Thanks, people. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a national thing, obviously, and it's ruined anyways.
Mhm.
So sad what happened to the person that did die in there, but it's a national park, whatever the heck it is. Take better care of it,
Yeah.
or they close them, or before they close them all down, because we're not being respectful.
So people started to demand that Nutty Putty be closed permanently. And the School and Institutional Trust Lands Administration representative Gary Bragley said closing the cave is just one of the options. But obviously, the trust would have preferred that another organization take over the management of it and actually keep the cave open. But the cave had become a liability. They were basically saying, we don't know how to handle such a liability, somebody else should be taking over. They didn't want to close it because it was getting 4,000 visitors per year and it was producing income. And to help clarify, that was twice the amount of visitors as other caves in Utah.
Yeah, that's pretty good for.
Um, they estimated only 1% of them were properly equipped to enter the cave. So 4,000 people are entering that cave, but only 1%
Has the
are prepared to actually crawl through the cave.
experience. Wow,
Yeah.
you guys had some brain cells.
So the issue of public safety came up again, and a few months later after another incident. On August 17th, 2005, Jennifer Galbraith and a group of 5 friends went to explore the caves under Y Mountain in Provo, Utah. According to Jennifer's father, Chris, she had experience exploring caves before she had been in this cave. But she had never been in this cave, specific one before.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't in Nutty Putty. She was actually going into a mine. Um, he said, I think it was adventure that went bad. Now, across western Utah, there are a lot of old mine shafts that have been out of use for nearly a century. And they're all over the landscape and they kind of look like cave systems. They pose a bigger risk than actual caves because they are a lot more unstable.
Mm-hmm.
So that evening, Jennifer and her friends decided to enter a cave called the Cave of Death.
Okay.
It was not a cave, it was an old abandoned mine that ends a few hundred feet in. Of the 5, only Joseph Ferson, who was like, I don't want to go in the mine shaft, and he waited outside for the other 4. Now, they went in several hundred feet and then lowered themselves into a deeper shaft to explore the interior. Now, when no one had returned after several hours, Joseph began worrying, and he called the police, and they put a rescue team together to find the 4 people. When they found Jennifer and her friends in the lower part of the mine, they were all dead.
Oh shoot!
The exact cause of death is unknown.
It didn't cave in or anything.
No. According to reports, the rope was reportedly intact. They said that it could have been cold water, lack of air, hang up might have caused their death, though no one knows for sure.
I would say air.
The 4 of them just were
Deceased. Wow.
deceased when they found them.
I would say air. That's just me.
Officials theorized that after lowering themselves into the shaft, Jennifer and her friends became trapped in a very small space that was regularly flooded with water. And they panicked, unable to reverse course, and they believe they suffocated due to limited oxygen in the pool.
Okay, that's a yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if there's 4 people in there, and you all trying to breathe oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
And you're all panicking, so you're taking in more oxygen.
Yeah.
Within hours of retrieving the bodies, authorities put a no trespassing sign outside the entrance of the mine and began pouring cement to close it off.
Mm.
While sealing the mine that would prevent deaths, Provo mayor said, I want a permanent solution. There are mines all over the mountains. The problem with sealing up caves or mines that it often makes the curious explore more so.
Yeah.
A prime example is Spanish Moss Cave, which has a steel door that was placed in front of it, and people dug under the door to get in. They dug under it.
It's like giving a kid a chocolate bar and say, "Don't eat it."
Uh huh.
Really?
So the
There's
perk, this is how they viewed it. The perk of Nutty Putty Cave
mhm.
was that people were getting stuck in Nutty Putty Cave, but they weren't dying. That's what their mindset. Yes, people are getting stuck, but no one's dying.
Until that one person does. Come on.
The last death they had in Nutty Putty Cave was in the 90s. So they were like, nah, that's good. Um, so they realized the cave was dangerous to unprepared cavers and spelunkers. So in May 2006, the Schools and Institutional Trust and Administration installed a large gate to discourage visitors from going in until they were basically doing it as a period pattern. It was a way for them to figure out what they were going to do with the caves. Um, so the SITA spokesman, David Herbertson, told the press, "This is a moral thing we don't want to live with. This is a moral thing. We don't want to live with someone dying. The cave needs more management or to be closed." According to Herbertson, the 4 deaths at the mine at Y Mountain re-emphasized the need for people to take precautions when they're in caves. Basically, the SITA did not possess the resources to provide a safer visitor visit. He said, "I do believe we don't want to tell someone that their son or daughter died in our cave," which is nice. But all of you wanted to make it so that inexperienced people weren't going into the caves or mines. And there was the worry that if there was an effect of us sealing off the caves, what if people find more that are even more dangerous? And
Yeah.
then they kind of keep it like on the low so nobody finds out about them.
Until you get that kid named Kevin that tells everybody about it.
Yeah. There was a lot of concerns at the time. And there was also the issue that sometimes there are just freak accidents when it comes to caving. So the SITLA contracted with the Timpangos Grotto to take over management of Nutty Putty Cave and other cave systems on the property. And now anyone entering the cave had to submit an application and acknowledge the risks, but also prove they were experienced enough to enter the cave. Ackland said, "We attempted to manage the risk, but we were unable to manage the gamblers." The gamblers referred to people who entered the cave without filling out these forms without permission and just were like, "I do what I want and I'm going in this cave. I'm not going to fill out the form. I'm just going to go in the cave." Again, they did not put a guard at the gate. They did not put anything over the cave. They just left it open with a gate around the cave, which anyone could climb over.
And if they would have done it to where they had a building and you go in and say, "Yeah, I want to go spelunking in the cave." Okay, well, did you do the application online? Well, no, then I can't let you in.
Exactly.
Unless you pop up, which to me, that's safety, one. Two, they're covering their basis on not getting sued or.
And if the reason is, oh, but it's releasing gas, you can build a building and instead of windows, you do like bars or something.
Or vents.
Exactly.
Just put vents in certain areas of the cave so that way at least it's getting out one way and not, causing harm to people that are down there doing it.
So this case involves a gambler.
Mm-hmm.
He decided to take a risk along with his family. On the afternoon of November 24th, 2009, 26-year-old John Jones and a large group of friends arrived at the entrance of Nutty Putty Cave to explore. John and his brother Josh had grown up in Strawberry Park, Utah, so they spent a lot of time exploring caves and cool places all over the state. John had moved to Virginia for med school 2 years earlier, and so he hadn't been in a cave for years, and especially not one as challenging as Nutty Putty. He also got married to his longtime girlfriend Emily, and they had a 1-year-old daughter.
Oh.
Emily was also pregnant and was due in June of the next year.
And she went?
No.
Oh, okay.
So his trip, he went back to Utah for Thanksgiving as a way to reconnect with his group of friends and hang out with his family and do things they used to do, and they love to do. So the group reached the entrance of the cave around 8 p.m. and spent some time exploring the big slide before John and Josh and two other members of the group separated from the others to go searching for more challenging sections of the cave.
Oh.
So since they didn't have a guide and they didn't have a map, they did not have any idea where the birth canal was, and that's what they were looking for. They went in the general direction they believed it to be, and after wiggling through difficult and tight alcoves and passages, they thought they had found what they were looking for. The only light was a headlamp, and it was a decades-old headlamp to show the way.
Mm.
John entered into a waist-high hole head first. He inched his way into the crevasse with his hips, stomach, and hands. The natural process of erosion in the hole created a corkscrew of rock that few, if any, could navigate. So this was an area no one had ever entered before.
Mm.
John Jones was 6 feet tall and nearly 200 pounds. He found himself in trouble quickly when he realized the passage was too small for his frame. He looked for a way to turn around, but he couldn't. He kept pushing forward, hoping it would widen and he would leave the birth canal because he thought this was the birth canal.
Mm.
The problem was that he wasn't in the birth canal. This was a section of cave that was not well charted. It was called Bob's Push. It was only 18 inches wide and 10 inches high.
Jeez.
So he's looking at a fissure, and it looks like it drops straight down and it widens at the bottom. So he keeps moving forward, thinking he's found a way to turn around.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's hard to say how he fit, but it is believed he sucked in his chest to get to the fissure, so he slid his torso over a lip and into a 10-inch wide side of the crevice. So he went from 18 to 10.
Oh, jeez.
And when his chest expanded, he became wedged. Now, he's upside down with all of his weight pushing
with
downward,
you guys going upside down?
and all the blood is rushing to his head. The more he struggled to free himself, the deeper he fell into the fissure until he was wedged into a smaller fissure that was 8.5 feet wide. One of his arms had been pinned under his body, and the other was forced backwards, caught in an outcropping rock on his way, and he used his hands to push him forward, but without his hands, he couldn't push himself out because they were stuck like this. According to the Salt Lake Tribune, when Josh learned his brother was stuck, he thought it was the beginning of another family adventure story. Because when they were younger, their dad had gotten stuck on a similar cave trip, and it was the story was a favorite to tell at family gatherings ever since the amazing rescue.
Mm.
So Josh went in and tried to reach his brother, and by the time they reached John, they realized it wasn't good.
Mm.
Josh said, seeing his feet and seeing how swallowed he was by the rock, he knew it was serious. So wrapping his feet, because he had gone in feet first,
Yeah.
wrapping his feet around John's calves, Josh tried to extract him, ended up moving him a few inches, but with nothing to hold him there, he slipped back into his original position.
No.
Now Josh began to panic. He crawled out of the fissure, and he made his way to the surface to call for help while a friend stayed with John. And confident that help was coming, Josh went back down to keep John's spirits up. They waited for rescue, they had small talk, sang Mormon hymns, and they prayed together to pass time.
Mm-hmm.
After about an hour, they heard the rescuers approaching. But by then, Josh didn't want to leave him. He told a reporter, "I don't want to leave him.
Mm-hmm.
His life was in that cave, in that crack." Now, the rescue attempt that had happened was long and terrifying. The 3-person team of rescuers arrived a little before midnight, and they reached the fissure where John was stuck. The smallest member was 5 foot 3 inches, Susie Motala, and she volunteered to go into the crevice where John was. After 20 minutes of progress, Susie's headlamp finally found John, and she could see he was very trapped. And when she saw him, she went in, "Hi, I'm Susie. I'm here to help you." And he responded with, "Hi, Susie. Thanks for coming, but I really want to get out." Her response was optimistic. "We're going to get you out of here lickety split." So Susie tied a rope around John's ankles and slowly worked her way back to hand the rope to the team at the entrance of the cave. But the friction caused by the rope rubbing against pieces of rock
Oh no.
made the rope more tense and made their efforts to pull him out harder. So while other rescues came up with a plan, Susie decided she was going to try and keep John from panicking. And so he was looking to the darkness.
Yeah.
That's all he could see was
Yeah.
darkness. She tried to move him so he could be more comfortable, but he was too heavy and she couldn't lift any part of his body because he was so wedged. So she actually cut off the legs of his jeans to give him more space. It didn't do much to improve his comfort.
Mm-hmm.
She started to trickle water down his arm, hoping it could trickle into his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
She then started to run out of ideas and she started to hum a Mormon hymn with him. She tried to keep him calm. She noticed his voice was getting quieter and more nasally and his breathing was labored.
Mm-hmm.
She could hear that his lungs were filling with fluid.
Oh no.
Susie knew he was in big trouble, but at the time she didn't know how big of a trouble he was in. So at the cave entrance, Dr. Doug Murdoch had arrived to assist in the rescue, and he filled in everyone on how bad the situation was.
Mm-hmm.
He said being upside down, your body has to pump blood out of your brain, and the body is not made for that. The entire system begins to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, being in that position, his circulation was slowing down, so it was allowing fluids to pool in the brains and lungs, and capillaries were beginning to leak toxins, and the toxins were building in his blood. And if they weren't able to get him out soon, the toxins would leak into his heart and other organs.
Mm-hmm.
Although he couldn't say with certainty, he thought he had been in that position. The doctor had estimated 8 to 10 hours before he would eventually die.
Yeah.
So while Susie kept him calm, the team came up with a plan. A pulley system, threading the ropes through anchors, pounded into the wall of the cave, and this would reduce the friction. The problem was the size of the opening that John was stuck in was so tight that each piece of equipment had to be sent down one at a time in a process that took an hour for each piece. So they began thinking of other ideas. They were trying hard, doing what they could. The family was going down and talking to him. Susie was still there. So they came up with other ideas. They ordered air drills, but the equipment was too large to get down there.
Yeah.
They even thought about using explosives to create a secondary opening. They even ordered 6 gallons of vegetable oil, hoping they could slide him out, but they couldn't.
I'll tell you, vegetable oil. Son of a bitch.
By 4
Son
so
of a bitch.
remember, midnight is when around 1 a.m. is when he gets stuck. By 4 p.m. the next day, they managed to pull John a dozen feet back towards the direction of the opening, and they were feeling and they were feeling optimistic. Rescuers were hopeful. They were like, "We can do this." The
We got
issue
you,
was
John.
he was a bigger dude and a fully grown man.
Yeah.
Now, those in the cave were less optimistic because John's heart had been working in overtime to circulate blood for 24 hours. So his heart's in overdrive and his body is dealing with so much stress that every time they pulled the rope, his leg would knock into the wall and he would have a wave of pain go through his body.
Mm.
At this point, it got worse. They had reached a point in the tunnel where they couldn't bend John's body backward without breaking his legs.
Oh, jeez.
And at this point, the physical trauma of that, when his body is weak, he would never survive the trauma. So as they're realizing they can't pull him out, they realize the anchors are failing and giving away. So after hours underground, Susie crawled out because she needed a break. She was replaced by Ryan Schertz. He was an expert spelunker and he was familiar with the caves. He said he went down, he had to fight back tears, knowing how much of a little chance that John had to live. John said to him, "Help me get out. I don't want to be on my head." He was talking about his new position because he was pushed into another crevasse and he was kind of on his head because the pulleys were breaking. They had to leave him on his head.
Oh, Jesus.
So his body weight is now being supported on the top of his head.
Wow.
He said, "Why did you guys put me here?" Ryan sat with him, trying to keep him calm and keep his spirits up while the team fixed the pulley system. Ryan said he knew there wasn't much he could do for him. He just wanted him to know he wasn't alone.
Mm-hmm.
He gave him water through a straw, like a long straw. He rubbed John's legs, thinking human touch would help him. He said, as a devout Mormon, he shared stories with John about being a missionary in Ecuador because it was something they could bond over.
Mm.
For the most part, Ryan was a comfort, but every now and again, John would get panicked and start thrashing his legs and screaming.
Mm.
By late afternoon, they had finished installing a new pulley system and ready to try to extract him with several hard pulls. They knew this would cause serious physical trauma, and they had medical assistants on the site to help because they needed to get him out as fast as possible. As 8 people pulled at the entrance of the cave, Ryan tried to guide John's body, while John tried to push with his hands. After 20 minutes of pulling, Ryan called for them to stop and give him a break, and John said, "My legs are killing me." Then, Schurz felt an explosion of pain and screamed and backed out. Under the strain of trying to pull him, an anchor had come loose from the cave wall, sending a metal piece into Ryan's face, breaking his jaw and nearly severing his tongue.
Oh, Jesus.
So while they're trying to pull John out, this anchor literally comes out of the wall and just breaks his jaw and almost severs his tongue.
Jesus.
No, I don't think Jesus had anything.
Yeah, it was the accident caused the rope to snap, and it sent John sliding back into the fissure where he landed on his head. Susie said it felt like a slap in the face.
Wow.
Now Ryan, even though his jaw was broken and his tongue was almost completely severed, told John he needed to leave to get medical attention. He was
Just with a broken, almost severed tongue, you can barely talk. Can it get worse, folks? Abigail will tell.
He was replaced by rescuer Dave. He was Ryan's father. His son was the one who had gotten injured. Yeah. John told Dave, "I'm going to die here." And Dave tried to reassure him, but at this point it was becoming obvious. The team worked to fix the pulley system, and Dave couldn't get to where John had landed to tie a new rope. So after a few hours, Dave radioed and said, "I need someone to replace me." When he reached the rest of the group, Dave told everyone he said he's dying right now.
Mm.
He has a heartbeat, but he had difficulty breathing before I got there. Brandon Koala volunteered, and he took a telecom with him so John could talk to his wife.
Oh.
By the time Koalas reached the fissure, John had lost consciousness.
Oh, jeez.
He never woke up again.
Oh, wow.
A few minutes before midnight, a paramedic from the rescue team crawled into Nutty Putty Cave and pronounced John Jones dead at 11:56 on November 25th, 2009. Now, John's death was devastating for the family and team of rescuers. John's brother, Spencer Jones, told reporters, "We were all very optimistic and hopeful, but it became increasingly clear last night after he got restuck that there weren't very many options left. We thought he was in the clear when we got the news that he had slipped again, and we started to get scared." Now, before leaving the site, Lieutenant Tom Hodgins from Utah County Sheriff's Office promised they would retrieve John's body the next day. But he learned that was not a promise he would be able to keep. Years later, he told reporters to make a call on Thanksgiving to a family that was hopeful you'll bring their son out and they will have some closure. Wasn't an easy phone call to make. They found out that they weren't getting the body because they couldn't pull the body out.
Jeez.
Since he could no longer help, it would be difficult to pull him. Plus, it would put the rescuers at risk, and they didn't want to risk losing another person. So because they couldn't get John Jones's body out, that meant Nutty Putty Cave was his final resting place.
Wow.
Given the previous risks and the death, the state agreed to seal the cave with concrete immediately. The family also agreed to the sealing, saying it would be John's will to keep other future cavers safe. They started to appreciate that his body was left in a place he loved his entire life. His wife told reporters in 2018, "John loves the outdoors. He loves Utah. He loves wide open spaces. It's fitting it's his spot now." I'm sorry, I'm crying. I'm crying at the fact that she is referring to John in in present still.
Yeah. Of course.
So a few days later, crew sealed Nutty Putty Cave with concrete plugs. A 2 points, one at the entrance leading to the fissure where John got stuck, and then at the main entrance at Blowhole Hill. The plugs made the cave inaccessible, but they did their best to try not to mess with the ecosystem so that it could be removed if needed to. So like let's say they were like, "Oh, we need to remove it." They could, but it's sealed so no one can get in. It would cost a lot to remove it and it would be a lot of effort, but they could remove it, but they will not.
No.
To this day, it remains closed. They have a plaque, like I said.
With John.
They do have a plaque for Nutty Putty Cave with
John's information.
yes. And this is how he was stuck.
Holy jeez.
And then that's his feet.
So if they were even remotely able to get him out of how he was stuck, they'd have to take a chunk, and that would have trapped him even more.
And not only that, that's why they said they had to break his legs.
Jeez.
And then that was his face.
Wow.
So, for those of you who can't see, this is the position he was stuck in. This is his feet, if you can see that. That is an image of his feet, and you can see if they continued pulling up, he would have hit the top of the wall, hence why they said they had to break his legs. And then the other is the memorial that they have for him, the placard, which is on the outside.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And it is now his final resting place. That's another image. This is a couple of the rescuer image. This is one of the rescuers that were there.
Mm-hmm.
This is them crawling through Nutty Putty Cave. That's him showing that his hand going like this, his thumb and his thing could touch the bottom of the cave to the top of the cave.
Wow.
That's what they were crawling through.
And then trying to reach John's.
Looking at the paramedics' feet from my perspective.
Wow.
Just above John. This is again. So basically, this is the entrance of the cave.
Right.
So you go through the big slide. And then you have these little fissures.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what happened is he most likely went into one of these
I got
here
stuck.
because he wanted to go through the birth canal, which is this one. And the birth canal does lead into this interesting cave section right here.
Yeah.
But it also leads to the aorta crawl. And then this is the easy part, essentially. It's basically the maze, the big room, and then the crack.
I'm glad they closed it.
Yeah.
Because
and there is videos you can watch, the tight squeeze. So
good.
you don't want to. That's 30. That's them.
Nope. Okay. That's just plain stupidity to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to John's family that they lost. Obviously, an amazing person. Don't know much about him, but that's why you don't do things like that if you do not have the right experience doing it.
Yeah.
That's plain stupidity to go into something like that. Yeah, I mean, like his wife said, he is somewhere that he loved.
Because he did love caving.
But to me, no.
Yeah.
That is something I would never and will never ever want to do. I'm afraid of heights, and I still get on coasters and things like that, and I will never get high enough on something that I'm not comfortable or feel like I'm safe in. Going to Colossal Cave, it's very different. Very, very different. Because yes, you can stand up. But last time I went, when Justin was little and we went with his school, there are no handrails, no guardrails on either side as you're walking through. Now there might be some, but
this is
further in.
So yeah. So remember how I said he was entering the birth canal?
Yeah.
This was a birth canal. This is the one he entered.
Ugh.
And then this is so plain view.
Uh-huh.
You can't really. You could see this is where his feet were.
Yeah.
This is a sideways view, and this is another view.
Like why? Why would you
It's
risk your life to doing that? Risk everything that you're losing. I get it. People have a love for things, understand, but not for something like that.
mm,
Sorry, that's not worth it. That is not worth it.
and I get it. Exploring caves is interesting. Some of them, like Colossal Cave, are beautiful, but this, I couldn't imagine it.
Yeah.
It's a horrendous case. I did start crying because the idea of being stuck in a cave like that, of him going, "I'm dying."
And now they have a child, and obviously another one was on the way. Now she's got to explain
Why
why
they're
dad's not there and what happened and all this other stuff. Speaking of caves, when we went to Top of the Rock with my brother and sister, and we did our sibling trip, and you do go through a cave,
hmm
but it is a much bigger cave,
And
obviously.
it's like
Or you
colossal,
can't,
yeah.
you can't, you can drive a golf cart through it, and that's pretty much what you're doing at Top of the Rock is you drive a golf cart through the whole thing, and it's beautiful. If anybody ever wants to go somewhere, it is so peaceful. You hear nothing but maybe the wildlife, and you see little chipmunks, the beautiful waterfalls, all this other stuff. But the caves that are in there, they're so pretty that your little headlights come on the golf cart. And then you have like, is it stalactites and stalagmites, I think is what it's called, but they're like both ways. And you have all that stuff. But even going through something like that for myself, I knew it was a big enough, wide enough cave, but at the same time, it just,
Apparently, it's also rigged
phew,
with explosives. The entrance, it's not just rigged with concrete; it's also rigged with explosives.
are they planning on trying to take it all out?
I don't know.
Or is somebody trying to open it back up so it can
It's.
be?
I think it's if they needed to open it back up, they could.
Well, who's to say somebody ain't going to go down there and light it and open it back up
Yeah,
themselves? That's not smart.
but
Unless
yeah,
it's rigged to something like
I think it's specifically rigged to something. But it is sealed. It has a memorial plaque, and it's permanently closed.
it shouldn't have taken that for them to permanently close it. It shouldn't have taken for somebody to lose their life to understand
And
the
that's somebody.
risks of people going into that. And they've had to do how many rescues? Approximately how many rescues?
There was the four that I talked about. The Chris's. Then there was Brent Clark.
And then you had the girls that died, or that one
That
girl
was
that
at a
died.
cave.
Oh, that's the difference. That
But
was
there
the
was
mining
still
thing, yeah.
but there was still multiple together. It was considered an outlier.
And it should not take the death of somebody for you to understand.
It was making them money.
Not, I don't care. Money is not that important. People's lives are. People's lives are more important than freaking money.
Oh, I
And if
know
you're
this.
willing to put people's lives on blast or letting them go do something that they shouldn't be doing, shame on you.
Oh, I know this.
Greed. Greed is what you are. What you are. I'm glad they closed it, but shame on you.
hmm
If putting people's life at risk for you to have money and for you to have things, shame on you.
Yeah.
And that goes for anything. And yeah, I'm going to throw it out there. That goes for anything. Any corporation, any companies that overwork their employees, that, things like that, shame on you. Greed is not worth it. Money is not worth it. Your associates, your employees, whoever you have, they're worth it, not you getting money.
Yeah.
So I will say it again, shame on you for keeping that open for as long as you did.
Yeah.
It should have been shut down a long freaking time ago after number of people getting stuck. That's that's on you. That's plain right out stupidity to keep
And I
something
mean, the
open.
dude called it before he signed it over to a different management team, where he said we don't want to have to call a family and say their loved one's dead.
but you pass it off to another corporation and another
Another
company to have them do it. When you yourself, again, shame on you, you could have prevented that from happening by closing it off,
hmm
by closing it down, doing whatever it is that you needed to do, or upscaling it, or
hmm
upgrading it to where, okay, there's stairs instead of them going down a rope, to where, okay, hey, this is birth canal, this is the aorta
putting
crawl,
signs,
putting
something
signs
like
in there
that.
for safety. Again, a person's life is not worth money at all. It just cost a family, a husband, a father, a brother, son, uncle, whatever.
hmm
You just cost.
And what makes it even more heartbreaking was when it first happened, his brother was like, this is the beginning of another family adventure because their dad had gotten stuck in a cave before.
And then now it's
And then
not
he
going to be,
went down there and he went, oh,
it's not as good
this
as
is
I
not going to be a
thought.
family adventure.
Yeah, and
And
it's
he
one of those
knew.
that he has to live with. And it sucks for the brother because who knows what type of trauma that caused for the brother. That poor dude probably had to do therapy, to be honest with you. Months. And the
All
wife, everybody in that family, guarantee you, and they probably
can
do
you have
like a
also
memorial thing for him every year.
imagine being the rescuers, making a connection to him, trying to
That would suck.
do everything you can, and then you're like the closest one he's talking to, and all of a sudden something breaks out of the wall and your
Dude,
jaw's
and now
broken,
you have that. You have, I mean, you
and you
have
have
that
a partially
scar.
severed tongue.
So it's,
That cave was a night because I was thinking about it because I was like, after I'd written this, I was sitting there and I was like, how did they not expect the pulley system to break? Because remember,
one, limestone's
the
pretty weak.
and not only that, remember, all of the cave is covered in what they basically called silly putty.
Yeah, so it's like, how can you expect it to
Hold up.
hold
And I get
anything?
they were trying their best because they couldn't fit tools in there. What, they thought about making a secondary hole?
And then if they tried that though, I mean, if they were able, if
He
they
was
could,
126 feet into the
okay,
ground.
and then think about that. How many hours is that going to take you? If you were to drill
And
and do a hole
explode.
straight down, okay, now there goes rubble. Now you're putting it on top of him and his broken legs, making it worse. And praying, yes,
And the
being hopeful of him coming out, being okay, but technically he wouldn't be okay. The dude would have to, you got to have surgery to get your legs fixed, and all of this, he'd be in pain.
the damage, the
The damage, the
toxins,
organs, his organs,
his organs.
organs,
And if they
not
had
organs. Sorry.
the thing that got me is when they had put him in the position where he was on his head and he's asking, he goes, why did you put me here?
It's like he knew. I mean, he already
He was,
knew.
it was uncomfortable for him to be in that position where he's essentially in a free fall.
Because then now
But now your whole entire weight is on your head, but
and
it's
your
the
blood's
only
rushing
way.
to your head.
Well, his blood was rushing to his head anyway, but now he's like sitting there, and it's uncomfortable to like be on your head for a long period of time. Can you imagine your whole entire body weight on
And then
your head for hours?
oh god, yeah, no, that would be horrible. That would be horrible. I mean, this is one of the,
It's a
I will say, a heartbreaking case because this could have been prevented.
hmm
Safety measures could have been put in place.
I also think it's a nice little breakaway from all the true crime where we
Yeah,
see
that too.
people being horrible. In
That
this
too.
case, we see people trying their best to be the best they can be.
Yep. And technically, we were supposed to do the Walt Disney one today, but with everything going on right now, we're doing that next Monday.
Yeah.
So on the 15th, which is I want to call it an anniversary, but it kind of is, of when Walt Disney passed away.
And then we're doing Krampus. She was sitting there and she's like, we should do the episode on this. And I was like, I already wrote the Krampus episode. We're not doing another one.
Oh, that's because it was folklore, like Christmas creatures and Christmas folklore is what it was. And I go, then I looked at her. She's, well, I already wrote. I'm like, for next year. Like I was trying to cover my butt. Not now, duh.
I'm in
For
the middle
next year.
of writing February's
next year.
cases.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So she's getting the cases out. I mean, we've been doing pretty good. We have 181 subscribers, so yay to us. So we really only need 19 more to get us to 200, and we'll celebrate that.
yeah.
You know, it's going to take us a while to get to where we are, and that's okay. You know, we do this for fun. We do this for, excuse me, not that. For the leisure of just learning different things. You know, like next year, we don't know what cases we're going to find. We have no clue. We have no.
I have some idea,
And
but
well, not only and not she does because why she does. She's the one that does the research. But if I come across something, I send it to her. I literally will send her like a case, and then she'll tell me about it. It's like, oh, okay, because we've already done it. What was funny? Well, I forgot what case it was that we did, and I go, why does that sound familiar? And it was on TV because we have the True Crime channel, and I was sitting here watching. And I was like, wait a minute,
the trunk murderers, was it?
Yeah, it was the trunk murderers, and I sit there and I'm like, that sounds a lot like the truck murders. And then right after I say that, the announcer goes, no, her nickname became the truck murders. I'm like, well, fuck, there it is. There it is. So it was, I try to find things. I try to find cases or, yes, there's going to be repeat cases that we'll probably do next year. You know,
I will be I want to do a murder case because they just solved who the dude was, but he already died, so they couldn't do anything about it. But it's considered a closed case now because they're pretty sure who it was. And there was actually an unidentified body that was found on the beaches and completely unidentified because all of the teeth were missing. There was no identification. And it was like, it was weird. Like, purposefully identifiers were taken. And this was like a crime in the 40s.
okay,
right?
Never mind.
They-
I'm all like looking at my fingertips, like, well, there is
and
that.
they found these the remains on the beach, and they were like, that's so weird. They identified them finally in 2022.
Oh wow.
They finally went through and they were able to use genetics and identify who the missing woman was. They were able to identify most likely who her killer was, and it's a very interesting case. And she's actually really, it's, I think her body is her, she was nicknamed the body of the dunes. The lady of the dunes is what she was nicknamed.
Oh wow. And I've been I'm trying to talk her into doing, since March is, I call it Irish month.
It's already planned out.
That
No.
I was trying to talk her into doing some Irish Scottish cases for the month of March.
We're doing a Scottish case in January. It's gonna have to be. I think we're doing the Black Dahlia in March.
The Black Dahlia case is pretty good because that was one of our cases.
We're also doing the Long Island serial killer case.
You know what we're gonna have that day? Long Island iced tea.
We're gonna need it
without the alcohol.
Because
without the alcohol.
This is a 2008-2010 case, and this is a case where I respect police officers, but this is one of the instances where I just wanted to say, fuck the police. Because
no offense, Stephen.
there was one of the officers, one of the leaders. He claims he never said this, but he said something along the lines of, because all these victims were prostitutes. He basically said, they're prostitutes, who cares?
They're nothing.
Basically, that's what he said. They're nothing.
They're nothing, which is that's hurtful.
And then it turns out the killer had the dude's card, that officer's card, all in his car. It was so weird.
Yeah, I can't come up with cases on my own unless I come up with something or I see something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh hey, I want to do this one, and then I'll tell her about it. And she's okay. Well, we can fit it in here. Like again, today we were supposed to do it to pre-record the Walt Disney one, but with everything going on, we're doing that Monday, and we're just gonna do it live on Monday. There's got a lot going on. Holidays too aren't really helpful at work with a bunch of crap going on. Yeah. I don't know. I like to watch different shows. Like, so my favorite thing to watch is History's Greatest Mysteries. And maybe
My favorite thing to watch is Hoarders Buried Alive.
and maybe one of these times on our maybe our Q&A, we could talk about things like that instead of doing like another case. Break it up a little bit more. Maybe I could sit there and look up History's Greatest Mysteries past episodes and be like, "Oh, hey, that's pretty interesting."
Or
Just
Real
wanted to
Ho-
find
or
out.
The Secret Life of Mormon Wives. One of those two.
Yeah, nope, I can't watch that second one with her. I just can't. No.
If anyone knows, I was shocked by what Fruity Pebbles were.
I don't want to know because I used to eat the cereal.
You don't.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't.
I don't eat cereal anymore. And it's not because of things like that. I just don't eat it no more.
You don't want to know. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't want to know.
I don't want to know because it's going to ruin a childhood
I
cereal.
didn't need to know what it was.
But
But
now you
one
know.
of the wives just went, you know what? Since she wants to be petty. And then she just said it on the internet for everyone to know.
And now I'm going to be curious and be like, what you say after this video. And then I'm going to come back to you and like, remember that Fruity Pebbles? I did not need to know. Guess what?
I'm not telling you.
Never
You can
buying
look it up. You can look up Demi Fruity Pebbles and it will.
My dumbass will look. Dumbass will look.
Give me the munchkins.
I was going to say, which one do you want to do? The puzzle
Give
or
me
the
the
munchkins?
munchkins.
Okay, hold on. Oh, we need to cut the box open. Yours is Velcro, I think.
Yes, it is.
Nope, it's not. It's taped. What you get? Can you not peel the tape off of that?
Today,
Little turd.
I have no self-control.
No, we noticed. We noticed.
I'm terrible at presents.
Why she
You
ain't
can
getting
ask
any from
anyone
us.
in this house.
Did you hear me?
Huh?
That's why she ain't getting none from us. Can't trust her with the present.
Yeah, you can't trust me.
Bad enough, can't trust her dang cat who eats the wrapping paper. Like a
Digs
doomas-
at it more
like
like
a
it.
doomass.
I did it.
Shut up. Oh.
Ooh! It has little.
Yeah, I know. I never play with it. I never.
I'm playing with it. Little. There you go.
That is cute though. Like Candyland.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the front of yours. So here be mine. So
Okay.
it pretty much tells you already what the puzzles are. So like you got Minnie and Mickey. Like at a little college. They're at college.
You're at college?
They're at college.
You're at college.
They make cottage. We're opening how many? 8?
8.
All right, so there's gonna be 2 Mickey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these are Christmas looking ones. What'd you get?
got Minnie.
Oh, does she smell?
She does.
Sometimes they smell. Peppermint.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit! Where did she go?
I don't know where she went. You're the one who's supposed to be watching her.
Oh, there she is. Excuse me. Ooh, it is pepperminty.
Very pepperminty. What's this? Are these tiles?
I don't know. Remember all the other stuff that she bought me? She's fed my addiction before. She bought me the little vending machine or the little ice cream cart.
I don't know what they are.
They are.
There's little tiles. I think they're tiles for like if you're playing Candyland.
It could be. But she smells good. I still have the cart in the Walmart. She bought me a Walmart grocery cart. I forgot to tell you guys about that. Smells like orange. Who is this?
Also peppermint. It's Mickey.
Oh. Yep. They might be pepperminty. Is that the holder?
This is a holder.
Oh, for ice cream. So you might have gotten ice cream in one of these. That's where you put the ice cream. Again, she bought me the ice cream cart. There it is. You got an ice cream.
It is Donald Duck.
Does he smell? Does he smell? Oh, shenanigans. Nate.
Shove it in her nose.
What's wrong with you? Oh no.
It's our cocaine.
It's not good. we did that the other day.
Oh, I can already smell the chocolate.
Can you?
Yeah, I can smell
Chocolatey.
the chocolate.
Oh, cheese and crackers. Woo! Is this Chipperdale?
I don't know.
Hey, who is the red nose? Is he Chipperdale? I don't know who he is. Oh. That woke her up. She's all, what? Oh, so sorry. So sorry, Tataru.
Last one. Okay.
I don't want you in it.
No, it doesn't.
So if you wonder where you can get these, you can get them at Walmart. They're $25 a piece, just so you know. And every year I like getting these.
Ooh, I think it
look,
smells like
flounder.
it smells like bubble gum. I want to open all of them.
No. No.
Like I said, I have impulse control issues.
A lemon blueberry. Maybe like,
Oh.
look on the back. Oh, well, crap. Don't tell you. Oh, these are color reveal too, meaning I don't tell you nothing, huh? Well, hey, Disney people munchling.
For best color change result, use icy cold water. You want to get some ice cold water and see if these change colors?
Well, wait, you got to see which ones are going to change colors though, because I don't think all of them do.
I think.
Oh, is there a possibility of getting Sully? That would make my day. I love Sully.
I'm gonna open the back.
No, you can't see them anyway, so stop it. Trying to cheat, little turd.
Or I can open the bottom.
You can't see them; they're wrapped. Stop trying to open them all.
I'm sad now.
And be patient. Oh, so it's Mickey. So maybe him and Minnie change color, but not everybody else.
Why did we get a Piper?
It's a candy bag. Look at her.
Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
she looks like she wants to attack it.
Come on. Come on. What's this? What's this?
Okay, so you get 24 mini puzzles, which create. There's a table there, smart one.
Oh.
There's a table there. Did you knock your canoogin? Did you knock your canoogin? Canoogin?
These are tiles to put them on. What the fuck does Minnie?
Oh,
go?
wow. Ow! Damn, that hurt, man. Your freaking claw, you heathen. God, the cat's claws were rough. Okay, so 24 calendars. You get 24 mini puzzles, which creates one 1,000 piece puzzle. And you get a bonus adhesive puzzle saver inside.
Scared the dog.
All right, so first one. It's pretty much. Okay. Give me the puzzle. I'll put the puzzle together real quick.
Right, no.
We're not doing that right yet. Slow your roll, ma'am. So it's literally tiny. Like a little baby. And then you got the little adhesive thing on the back. Let me talk, mommy. Okay, so this one is the. Okay, I thought I was watching Beauty and the Beast. Let's have to go. This one is Mickey and Minnie at a cottage, and she's just kissing him on the cheek. So we have that one. Good. The second one is going to be Mickey and Minnie sitting around. Why? Okay, I'm going to move this so that way they don't try to eat it. This one is. Ooh, wait. It's cold. He does change color. He's starting to change color. Whoops.
You're putting its butt on it.
This one is, Mickey and Minnie. Again, they're little bitty puzzles in this size. So they're not that big. It doesn't say how long you're going to hold it on there. It's just until it starts changing. Woo.
Turn
He
green.
turned green. Turn green. He's so. Yeah, I'm moving this so you don't scratch my foot again. That hurt. The next one is going to be, if I can get out of the dang box, Alice in Wonderland Tea Party. And again, you can't see them, but when we put them together, I'll put the whole thing together. And then we have Mickey and Minnie on a skating rink. So the adhesive is on the back of it. And this one, again, it shows you everything. And these are regular puzzles that you can also get to at Walmart. They're like 1,000 pieces or 2,000 pieces. The next one is going to be Moana with the Heart of Tapiti and Hey Hey and Maui. Number 6 is going to be Cinderella and her Princess Charming. Small back. She's like wanting to do a puzzle. So bad because she keeps looking at the box like,
You do it.
there's my 6.
You
So-
open 8.
Oh, I was opening 6. My bad. I'm ready for bed. This one's the train, which I have the train at home. I have the train at home.
I want the train.
This one is
Autistic.
Autistic does me good. And then another one is Cinderella dancing with Prince Charming. So here, I'll show you. Ow. Oh. Okay.
Let's not knock into things.
Okay, here we go. That way you can see the first. There's those. And then you've got this one. Will you stop it? Can't see you. Can't see you. No.
Move the camera. Move the camera. The cat's here. Tataru has come to say hi.
And she's like, I'm out. You noticed me. Please don't knock that over. We don't need a disaster of her tail. What are you doing, Tataru? Yeah, Abigail was nice enough to dust off my castle with air, with the can of air, because it really needed it.
They pushed it back in the back of the little enclave, but I can't reach that far.
Yeah, I got it up there. It's funny when we have kids, when people invite people to have little kids, like, ooh, can I play with that? John babysat one of the cashier's sons over here at the house, and he goes, I want to play with that. He goes, no.
That's a no.
He's like, I want to live. Like, yeah, no, I'm very particular about that castle. That took me 2.5 months to put together. And now I want to get 2 more castles. The one is Beauty and the Beast that I want. Since that's my favorite Disney movie, I gotta have, well, I don't have to have that one, but I would like it. So that's the first 8 of each advent calendar. There are more advent calendars. I don't think we're gonna be able to get them and open them this year. Maybe if they're the same ones next year, we can get 2 different ones. Stop it. And
I don't.
they're $25 a piece.
I don't like blind boxes. I don't like not knowing what I'm not getting.
What up there, gangster? Hi.
You're gonna sit in the corner of the box.
Hi. What are you doing? Huh? Oh, thanks. Get some lovin', till you start get your damn tail out of my drink. Don't you get Christmas be nice. No fighting. Stop fighting. No fighting. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. Don't do it. Don't do it. Thank you.
She turns her back.
Oh, I love these animals. I love them very much. It cracks me up that this one over here, the poopa poopa, will wait until I get home and go outside and go to the bathroom. Even though people are home.
See, I poke, she hit.
This one, she only likes me if I give her ice cubes.
And you can see her tail. Her tail's very fluffy.
And I don't pick her up a lot.
I love to pick her up. She's so fluffy and cuddly.
Might want to get the paper. like, God dang it, Grandma. Why do you have to open your mouth?
You want a piece of plastic to play with?
No. You know they eat plastic. Ari used to eat plastic all the time.
She eats paper. She doesn't eat plastic.
Give her time.
I left a doctor's referral out, and her teeth marks are in it, and she ripped a whole entire corner of the referral off.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Ooh.
Didn't you?
She's like, come at me.
Didn't you?
She does not like to be pointed at.
She doesn't like to be pointed at. It's hilarious though, when she bats at us, she doesn't have her claws out.
Unless she's really in that mode.
Unless she is really angry. My hands have scars from it.
Oops.
That's
Sorry.
Beep. Give me a handshake. High five. My guy.
I could put that on the t-shirt for Krampus. I showed Thomas the t-shirt thing, and he liked it. He's like, nice. I'm like, yeah, that's for after we do the Krampus thing.
Handshake, my guy. Boop.
I think I ate too much today.
Boop. Boop.
Okay,
boop,
peepa deeps.
I'm busy booping the cat.
I'm ready to go lay down.
I gotta do my nails.
Excuse me. Whoops. It's right there.
You lost the ice cream cone. You lost Donald Duck. Where did Donald Duck go?
Exactly. He flew the coop.
He didn't fly. You flung him.
Where the hell did he go? Well, this is a case of the missing duck.
We'll find him with Tataru. Stop blowing air at me. There he is.
I gotta get that floor. Barfing booping.
Donald Duck says goodbye.
Yes. Goodbye.
So long. Farewell. I'll be to say
goodbye. Oh, I said it wrong.
To you. That's what it says. Alvida say goodbye. Alvida say goodbye. Adieu to you and you and you and you and you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Just English. Goodbye. Ooh, peppermint chocolate. Hold on. Will you stop? Damn. I don't think I want to put him in here after you shoved him right up the freaking nose.
Well, you did
I'm gonna wipe. I didn't put it all the way up there.
I didn't either.
I don't know. When I turned and looked, that's what it looked like, folks.
I was breathing in the scent.
She's snorting the duck. Duck snorter. Another t-shirt. Duck snorter.
Do you remember?
I'm gonna have an arrow underneath it.
Do you remember when our manager was asking about cocaine? And I looked at her and I go, do you know how much work we could get done if we could do cocaine?
And she's all, shh. We're like,
but she looked at me and she goes, we could get so much work done if we did cocaine.
And I was like,
she goes, the back room would be empty.
Yes, it would. And then I looked at these two and I'm like, why don't you just yell that out a little bit louder? I have no part in this. I mean, the fitting room would get clean.
The L carts would be done.
Gary would be like, what'd you do today? Got everything done in an hour? Sure as hell did. I'm all right. I ain't got nothing going on. I need some paper towels. What are you doing to your nose? It itches. Oh, snip, snip, toot, toot.
Yes.
Snip, snip, toot, toot, out the poop chute. Don't ask why I just did that.
Okay.
All right.
All right, we are done. Bye. Bye. Next time you see me, I will be married. Michelle.
I had to do it. Okay, leave me alone. Bye.